Have you ever really asked yourself, am I living as who I truly am, or just as someone the world finds easier to accept? Think about it. The identity you wake up with every day, the one that feels so familiar, what if it's not really yours at all? What if it's a patchwork of old beliefs, childhood fears, and quiet compromises, built more for survival than for becoming who you're meant to be? Here's something 93% of people never admit. They are more loyal to their limitations than their potential. Not because they believe in those limits, but because the unknown version of themselves terrifies them. We don't fear change. We fear the unknown version of ourselves that might rise from it. But that version, that's where your power lives, because real transformation doesn't begin with motivation, it begins with betrayal. The betrayal of the person you've always been in order to become the person you were always meant to be. And that betrayal, it's not just uncomfortable, it's required. To win, to rise, to evolve, you must betray the person you are today. We all know that person. Maybe we are that person, the one who works hard, plays fair, shows up with integrity, yet life keeps them in the back row. Why? Because the world doesn't operate on virtue, it operates on outcomes. The sobering reality: being a good person doesn't guarantee success, it often guarantees disappointment. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. A man who always wants to be good will come to ruin among so many who are not good. And now neuroscience agrees. Studies reveal that moral rigidity, refusing to adapt beliefs even when they don't serve results, can elevate cortisol, the stress hormone, damaging clarity and drive over time. But here's the real issue. We aren't loyal to truth or progress. We are loyal to the idea of who we think we're supposed to be. That identity was built in childhood, constructed by fears, patterns, and cultural expectations. You didn't choose it, you inherited it. And your loyalty to it, that's your prison. We are addicted to our own consistency. Research in behavioral psychology shows that people would rather be consistent than correct because it protects their sense of self. But that self, it might be outdated. To evolve, something has to die. Not your dreams, not your morals, but your attachment to who you've always been. This is, the essence of Machiavelli's dark wisdom. To become the person you want to be, you must let go of who you are. To understand the power of this shift, you need to understand the man behind the message. Niccolo Machiavelli lived in Renaissance Florence, an era of cutthroat politics and rapid shifts. He wasn't preaching cruelty, he was documenting survival. Leaders who clung to idealism were destroyed. Those who adapted, who maneuvered, who betrayed outdated identities, they survived, they thrived. His book, The Prince, wasn't a celebration of evil. It was a handbook for power. It said, stop pretending the world is something it's not. If you want to lead, if you want to win, you have to learn how not to be good when goodness is a liability. Let that idea breathe. Because here's the truth. This isn't just about politics, it's about personal transformation. It starts here. Kill your need for approval. Social conditioning wires us to chase acceptance. But Machiavelli knew the paradox. A leader who tries to be loved becomes weak. It's safer to be respected than adored. Psychology backs it up. People who chase external validation show higher rates of anxiety and indecision. They shrink their truth to fit in. To become who you must be, you have to let go of the fear of being misunderstood, of being disliked, of being alone. Trading likability for effectiveness isn't betrayal, it's evolution. Then comes the hard part. Forging a ruthless identity. Not cruel, not heartless, but ruthless, with weakness, indecision, and distractions. Think about this. 75% of people stay in toxic environments. Jobs, relationships, belief systems, because of emotional loyalty. Not logic, not progress, loyalty. Machiavelli would say, measure every habit, every tie by one question. Does this make you stronger? This means cutting off outdated connections, walking away from old narratives, letting go of attachments that drag you back. The winner isn't numb, they're precise. This isn't heartless, it's courageous. And according to studies on decision fatigue, cutting loose ineffective attachments dramatically increases willpower and energy. Now comes perception, the tool of kings. Honesty, as you were taught, was about goodness. But in power dynamics, raw honesty is often just unfiltered vulnerability. Machiavelli urged leaders to be great pretenders because perception shapes reality. And here's the kicker. Research shows that people who selectively reveal information are rated as more competent and trustworthy than those who overshare. It's not lying, it's leadership, it's emotional intelligence. You must know when to speak and when to be silent, when to show confidence even while trembling. This isn't inauthenticity, it's discipline. It's choosing the result over the ritual. This shift isn't subtle, it's seismic. It means holding a funeral, burying the person who waited, who hesitated, who played fair in a rigged game. And here's a brutal but freeing truth. Your brain will resist. Neuroplasticity research shows that identity change creates temporary neural chaos. Your mind wants to go back to comfort, but comfort is the coffin of potential. From that funeral, a new self rises, crafted, not inherited. This new version of you isn't indifferent to emotions, but isn't governed by them, isn't void of principles, but knows that unexamined principles can be traps. This new you chooses impact over innocence. You might lose friends, you might hear whispers, but in time you'll notice the shift: clarity instead of confusion, power instead of permission, results instead of regret. This transformation isn't selfish, it's necessary. According to leadership science, the most effective people aren't the ones who follow all the rules. They're the ones who know when to break them. Machiavelli never asked you to become evil. He asked you to become effective. He asked you to stop worshipping an outdated identity, to stop being a hostage to comfort, to ideals that never produced results. He asked you to become the architect of your own evolution. So ask yourself, what part of me needs to die so something stronger can live? Because the truth is this: the person you are and the person you want to be cannot coexist. One must fall for the other to rise. Betray your fear, betray your need for approval, betray the past version of you that couldn't get it done. Then, and only then, will you be free to win.